Known for his rugged appearance and no-nonsense style of acting, Gene Hackman's career provided us with one of the most natural performances ever seen in film. With more than 80 movies under his belt and 2 Academy Awards, Hackman is appreciated by both critics and audiences around the world. Known as Hollywood's every angry man, he decided to retire from acting back in 2004. In this video, we're taking a look at the top 10 Gene Hackman movies of all time.
You be sorry on the bench. Stop going for Ray. Buddy, get the ball between their guards. Watch for Everett and Merle cutting to the basket, all right?
Number 10, Crimson Tide.
They're fueling their missiles! We don't have time to fuck around!
Sir, I think you need time to think this over.
I don't have to think this over!
Nominated for 3 Oscars, Crimson Tide is now regarded as a submarine classic. Directed by the brilliant Tony Scott, the film portrays Hackman in the role of the brutal captain, Frank Ramsey, alongside Denzel Washington, who plays the role of his executive officer called Hunter. Placed against the backdrop of Russia being under the threat of a nuclear war, the film shows us the struggle between the old-school Ramsey, who was acting on impulse, and Hunter, who stages a mutiny to stop the commander from launching his missiles against the Russian base. Let's face it, Hackman is brilliant in his role, but his character's brutality almost leads his crew to total nuclear annihilation. Inside the confines of a submarine underwater, Hackman manages to deliver a stellar, tension-filled performance, making this movie one of the greatest American action thrillers of all time. Did you know that the US Navy found the subject of the film offensive and inaccurate? Apparently, they refused to provide any assistance in the movie's production.
Every second that we lose increases the chances that by the time our missiles arrive, their silos could be empty because they'd flown their birds and struck us first.
Yes, sir.
Number 9, Enemy of the State.
What the fuck is going on?
One of the most memorable films in Gene Hackman's career has been the 1998 thriller Enemy of the State, where the actor plays the role of an old CIA agent called Brill. He works alongside Will Smith's character, Robert Clayton Dean, a lawyer who is being targeted by the NSA after accidentally becoming a threat to national security. The two then join forces to help Robert out of this mess and find out why the government is after him. Both actors complement each other perfectly while still holding their own as separate characters. Hackman's performance in the film is power-packed yet still emotional enough to make you root for him at all times. For anyone who loves a good political thriller, Enemy of the State is a must-watch. Did you know that the NSA refused to cooperate with the production of this film? The aerial footage of their headquarters at Fort Meade even had to be shot from public airspace. Number 8, Superman.
I know exactly where he's headed. Hackensack, New Jersey.
This timeless superhero classic features Hackman in the role of the famous DC character Lex Luthor, Superman's worst nemesis who manages to discover his worst weakness, kryptonite. Lex then hatches a plan to bring him down once and for all. Working alongside Christopher Reeve, who plays Clark Kent in the film, Hackman manages to nail the role of the vindictive and narcissistic villain Luthor, who is hell-bent on proving himself as the smartest man in the world. With his charm and wit, Hackman managed to breathe life into the character, and his arrogance worked perfectly against Reeve's no-nonsense Superman, making this film quite the treat for all DC fans. Did you know that initially, Gene Hackman refused to cut off his mustache to portray the role of Lex Luthor? In early one-sheets of the movie, his face is even featured with a mustache.
I told you, it's kryptonite, Superman. Little souvenir from the old hometown. I've spared no expense to make you feel right at home.
Number 7, Hoosiers.
You guys remember what we worked on in practice, all right? I want to see it on the court!
In some countries released as Best Shot, this movie is regarded by many as one of the greatest sports films of all time. Set in the 1950s, the film features Gene Hackman as Coach Norman Dale, a teacher with a questionable reputation in a small Indiana town. However, he doesn't let that stop him from helping a team of high school underdogs to enter the state basketball championship. Assisting him along the way is Shooter, the town drunk played by Dennis Hopper, a feel-good story with an incredibly energetic and convincing performance by Hackman and Hopper. Hoosiers is the perfect portrayal of all the ups and downs in the world of sports, portraying an accurate representation of basketball culture back in the 50s. It might not sound as a surprise, but director David Anspaugh clashed with Gene Hackman throughout most of the production. Anspaugh told Vulture magazine that Gene had him on the verge of a nervous breakdown.
Everett, you got to stop that pass to the low post, all right? Great. You come off your man and give us some help inside.
Number 6, The Royal Tenenbaums.
What? What did you say? I said sit down, goddamn! I heard you! I want you out of my house! I'm just as bad as your raggedy ass out!
Directed by Wes Anderson, The Royal Tenenbaums is a story that features comedy, tragedy, romance, and just about everything you could ever want from a film. Hackman plays the character of Royal Tenenbaum, a man who abandons his wife and 3 children and returns back after 2 decades to reconnect with them all over again. The film is a quintessential family drama with well-defined characters, fast-paced dialogue, and plenty of humorous moments to show just how dysfunctional the Tenenbaum family really is. Hackman perfectly encapsulates all the shortcomings and quirks of Royal as he makes one last attempt to bring his family back together, making you cry, laugh, and scream out in frustration all at the same time. Initially, Gene Hackman was quite reluctant to accept the part, as he admitted to have been insensitive to his own family at some points in his life.
I haven't been in here for years.
Hey, are you listening to me?
Yes, I am! I think you're having a nervous breakdown. I don't think you recovered from Rachel's death.
Number 5. The French Connection. As far as cop films go, The French Connection is regarded as one of the greatest masterpieces of American cinema. The movie features Gene Hackman in his Oscar-winning role of Popeye Doyle, a hard-working police detective trying to bring down a gang of drug suppliers that can be traced back to France. Featuring gritty visuals and one of the most exciting car chases in cinematic history, Hackman delivers an incredible portrayal of the borderline sociopathic anti-hero, Popeye. Without having a big budget, award-winning director William Friedkin did a tremendous job turning The French Connection into a true classic with Gene Hackman at his finest. Apparently, Hackman got the role from Friedkin without auditioning or even reading the part. How about that?
Where do you want it?
Oh, shit. This side.
Number 4. The Conversation.
Look, I'm telling you, I'm not giving those tapes to anybody but the director.
Yeah, I know what you told me, Mr. Carl. We want you to deliver the tapes.
You tell him I'll think about it.
Featuring Hackman in the role of a paranoid surveillance expert named Harry Call, The Conversation is a suspense-packed film that has gone to attain the status of a cult classic. Tapping into some of the earliest concerns people had about technology, Hackman effortlessly portrays Call as he becomes increasingly worried about the fate of a couple he was asked to spy on when his recordings reveal the details of a potential murder. With a performance that will keep you hooked till the very end, Hackman's acting is subtle, yet still dark enough to make the audience feel just how scary his position is in the film. And while The Conversation doesn't feature any fast-paced action sequences, the gradual buildup of suspense as the plot goes on is what really makes this film shine. Number 3. Mississippi Burning. Have you ever wondered what it's like to deliver justice in a town full of dangerous, bigoted people with messed up beliefs? If so, keep on watching. Set in the 1960s, Mississippi Burning is a historical crime thriller that tells the story of 2 FBI agents who are investigating the racially motivated murder of a bunch of civil rights workers. Inspired by real-life voting activists, the film features Hackman as the FBI agent Rupert Anderson, working alongside Agent Alan Ward, played by Willem Dafoe. The 2 actors reveal a great chemistry, but Hackman is the true star of the show and manages to steal every scene with his strong portrayal of the good cop, earning him an Academy Award nomination. However, after seeing a short, violent clip of his own performance in the movie, he decided to never appear in violent films ever again. Obviously, we all know he didn't keep his word.
But you get to shoot people once in a while.
Number 2. Bonnie and Clyde.
Take a good look, Pop. I'm Buck Barrel.
A true timeless classic in the history of American cinema, Bonnie and Clyde is a film that remains unforgettable even to this day. Telling the story of a small-town waitress named Bonnie Parker, who falls in love with an ex-con named Clyde Barrow, they decide to go on a spree all over the country, robbing banks, stealing cars, and committing all kinds of crime. Bonnie and Clyde features Gene Hackman as Buck Barrow, Clyde's brother. And while the screen time Hackman receives in the film isn't all that much, his character is still charming enough and has great chemistry with Warren Beatty's Clyde, making the Barrow brothers one of the most iconic pair of fictional siblings. Hackman also earned an Oscar nomination for the Best Supporting Actor in the film, showing just how great his performance really was.
The guy that you killed, you had to do it, didn't you? It was either you or him.
Put me on the spot. I had to.
You had to do it, right?
I had to.
I know you did.
Our number 1 pick is Unforgiven.
You been talking about the Queen again on Independence Day?
Featuring some of Hollywood's biggest stars, such as Morgan Freeman and Richard Harris, Unforgiven stars Hackman as Little Bill, a selfish local sheriff who, instead of punishing 2 cowboys who slash up a prostitute's face, agrees to give them a fine of a few horses as punishment. In retaliation, the prostitute puts up a reward of $1,000 for anyone who kills the cowboys, attracting every bounty hunter and killer out there as Little Bill tries to maintain peace in his town and keep away all the assassins. Featuring brilliant direction and acting, Unforgiven is a true Western classic. Yes, it's graphic and violent, but somehow, everything in the film comes together perfectly because of how brilliantly it's written. Earning Hackman the BAFTA, the Academy Award, and even a Golden Globe for his performance as a sadistic town sheriff, Unforgiven has been one of the best films in the actor's entire career. With a memorable plot and an even more memorable climax, the film holds a rating of 8.2 out of 10 on IMDb.com, going down in history as a masterpiece of Western cinema.
I guess you know, Bob, that if I see you again, I'm just going to start shooting and figure it's self-defense.
Do you agree with our list? Be sure to comment below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and be the first to receive new Top 10 videos from Stream TV.